Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 5 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that will make you say NTA immediately. Story 1. My abusive mom asked me to drive her to the airport forever. So here's the situation. My mom asked me to drive her to the airport because she's moving back to her home country to take care of her own mother. She told me and my siblings that she'd come back after a few months. But honestly, based on everything about how she's acting, none of us actually believe she's coming back. And here's the thing you need to understand before you judge me. My mom was neglectful and abusive when we were growing up. She wouldn't feed me and my siblings unless my dad was home. Think about that for a second. A parent, withholding food, unless the other parent was around to witness it or make her do it. That's not an oversight, that's a choice. And because of that, every single one of us kids grew up with eating issues. That's not something you just shake off. That follows you into adulthood, it messes with your relationship with food, with trust, with feeling safe in your own home. So now she's asking me to be the one to take her to the airport. To be the one who drives her to what might be a permanent goodbye. And I'm sitting here asking myself, do I even want to be part of this moment? Do I owe her this? Some people in my life are telling me that no matter what she did, she's still my mother, and I'll regret it forever if I don't do this one last thing for her. That if she dies over there, or if this really is goodbye forever, I'll carry the guilt of refusing her one final request. But then there's this other part of me that's just exhausted. Why am I still the one making sacrifices for her comfort? Why is it my job to give her a peaceful send-off when she never gave us peace growing up? I didn't get a say in whether she fed me as a kid. I didn't get a say in the eating issues I still deal with today. But now, suddenly, I'm supposed to have all this generosity and grace for her because she's leaving? It feels backwards. It feels like I'm being asked to perform forgiveness I haven't actually felt yet, just so everyone else can feel like the family handled this the right way. My siblings are torn too. Some of them think we should all go together, make it a whole family thing, take pictures, hug it out, pretend like the last 20 years didn't happen. And maybe for them, that's healing. But for me, it feels like a lie. It feels like pretending. I keep going back and forth. Like, if I don't drive her, and something happens to her, will I regret it for the rest of my life? Will I be the villain in my own story? Or is it actually okay to protect my own peace, even in a moment like this, even when the stakes feel so final? Because here's what I keep coming back to. Forgiveness and reconciliation, if they happen, should happen because I'm ready, not because a plane ticket is forcing my hand. I don't want my last memory with my mother to be me performing kindness I don't feel, just to avoid guilt. So I guess my question is this. Would you be the asshole for refusing to drive your abusive parent to the airport, even knowing it might be the last time you ever see them? Or is it finally okay to put yourself first? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. My mom is sleeping with our married neighbor and I can hear everything. Okay, so this situation is a lot, and I need to just get it off my chest. My parents are in the middle of a divorce right now, they're living separately, and I'm 18 and still living with my mom during all of this. Which, fine, that's already a rough spot to be in as a kid, even an adult kid. But then my mom starts seeing someone new. And I want to be supportive, right, she's going through a divorce, she deserves happiness. Except the guy she's seeing is our neighbor. He's around 55 years old. And he is married. Like, currently, actively, still married, to his own wife, who lives right there in the neighborhood too. Our house is small. The rooms are close together. There is basically zero privacy in this place. So most nights, I can hear them. I can hear them having sex, and they think they're being quiet about it, staying behind closed doors, but sound travels, and I am stuck there just existing in this house while my mom carries on this affair practically under my nose. It's humiliating. It's uncomfortable. It's disrespectful, honestly, not just to me but to his wife, who has no idea, or maybe she does, I don't even know at this point, but either way it's messy and it's wrong. So finally I sat my mom down and I told her, look, I can't keep living like this. I can't keep pretending I don't know what's happening every night in this house. Either she ends things with him, or I'm going to have serious problems staying here, respecting her, even looking at her the same way. I basically gave her an ultimatum. Break up with the married man, or lose some serious respect from your own kid. And she did not take that well. She got defensive immediately, told me it's her house, her life, her business, and that I'm being dramatic and controlling for trying to dictate her relationships. She said she's allowed to date whoever she wants since she and my dad are separating anyway. And look, on some level, sure, she's allowed to date. I'm not trying to control who she loves. But there's a massive difference between dating and carrying on with a married man loud enough for your own child to hear through the walls. That's not me being controlling, that's me asking for basic respect in my own home. She also brought up that I don't know the full situation with him and his wife, that maybe their marriage is already basically over too. But that's not really my business to sort out, and it doesn't change the fact that I'm stuck in the middle of it, literally hearing it happen. Some of my friends think I overreacted, that a parent's love life isn't a kid's business no matter what. But other people I've talked to think I have every right to set boundaries in my own home, especially at a time when I'm already dealing with my parents' divorce and don't need this extra chaos on top of it. I just keep thinking, is it wrong to want some basic respect and privacy in my own house, even from my own mother? So tell me, was I the jerk for giving my mom an ultimatum about her married boyfriend, or did I have every right to say something? Story 3. My fiancé keeps stealing food off my plate and says he's entitled to it. Okay, so this is such a small thing but it is driving me insane, so let me just lay it out. I'm 31, my fiancé is 38, and we've been together a while now, engaged, planning a life together, all of that. But recently we had this moment that honestly kind of exposed something bigger about how he sees things. We were eating, and out of nowhere, he just reaches over, and takes food right off my plate. No asking, no like, hey can I have a bite, nothing. Just reaches over and grabs it like it's communal property. And I snapped at him. I said something like, hey, don't do that, and he got instantly defensive. His reasoning was that he bought the food, so technically it's his, so he's entitled to take whatever he wants off my plate whenever he wants. And look, I get where he's coming from on some level, like yeah, he paid for it. But here's the thing I was raised with, and I think a lot of people were raised with this too. Once food is served, once it's on someone's plate, that's their portion. That's their food now. You don't just take from someone's plate without asking, even if you're the one who bought the groceries, even if you're married, even if you're about to be married. That's just basic table manners, that's just common decency between two adults sharing a meal. I was also hangry when it happened, like I hadn't eaten all day, so my reaction probably came out sharper than I intended. I'll admit that part. But he's acting like the real crime here is that I got snippy, not that he took food off my plate without permission in the first place. Now he's pissed at me, telling me I'm ungrateful, that I'm being selfish, that after everything he does for me, buying the food, providing, whatever, I can't even let him have a bite of what's on my plate without turning it into a whole thing. And I keep thinking, is that really the same thing? Like there's a huge difference between generously offering someone a bite of your food, and someone just assuming they can take from your plate whenever they feel like it because their name was on the receipt. It feels less about the food, honestly, and more about this weird undertone of ownership, like because he paid, everything is technically his, including my portion, including my plate. And that's kind of an unsettling thing to sit with when you're about to marry someone. Is this how it's going to be with money, with space, with decisions, this idea that paying for something means having full control over it even after it's been given to someone else? My friends are split on this. Some of them think I'm overreacting over a bite of food, that it's such a tiny thing to nearly cause a fight over. But others think the way he responded, doubling down, calling me selfish and ungrateful instead of just saying sorry, I'll ask next time, says a lot more about him than it does about me. So I guess I'm asking, was I really the jerk for getting snippy about my fiancé taking food off my plate without asking? Or is this actually a bigger red flag than it seems? Story 4. I paid £4,000 for my sister's wedding and got uninvited from planning it. Alright, so let me break this down because the numbers alone are going to make your jaw drop. I'm 28, my sister is 32, and she's getting married next spring. Our parents aren't exactly well off financially, so early on, when she started planning this wedding, I stepped up. I have a stable job, she works part-time, and I wanted to help her out where I could. That's just what you do for family, right? So over the past 8 months, I have put in close to £4,000. Let that sink in. £4,000. That went toward the deposit for her venue, half of her wedding dress, most of the catering tasting fee, and then there was this florist situation, where I gave her money as a quote loan, that she said she'd pay back once the wedding gifts started coming in. Every single time she came to me with another expense, I said yes. I didn't complain, I didn't hesitate, because I love my sister and I wanted her big day to be everything she dreamed of. But here's where it gets frustrating. Over these past few months, I slowly started noticing I was being pushed out of the actual planning process. Like, decisions were being made without me. I'd hear about things secondhand, or not at all. And then it hit me, I wasn't even in the wedding planning group chat anymore. The one where all the real decisions, the real discussions, the real excitement was happening. I'd apparently been quietly removed at some point, and nobody thought to mention it to me. So I'm sitting here going, wait a second. I'm pouring thousands of pounds into this wedding, real money, my actual savings, and I'm not even considered part of the inner circle planning it anymore. That doesn't feel like being a generous sister, that starts to feel like being an ATM. So finally, when she came to me asking for more money, this time for something else, I said no. I told her I couldn't keep lending her money when I wasn't even included in the planning anymore. And oh, the reaction. She acted completely blindsided, like I was the one being unreasonable, like I was punishing her for something petty. She said money and planning are two separate things, that just because I'm not in some group chat doesn't mean my contributions aren't appreciated. But that felt like a total deflection to me. If you value someone's contribution, you don't quietly remove them from the conversation while still expecting them to fund it. My parents are kind of stuck in the middle, telling me to just let it go, that it's her wedding and I should be happy to help without expecting anything back. But I don't think expecting to be included in the planning of an event I'm partially funding is asking too much. That doesn't feel like strings attached, that feels like basic respect. Some of my friends think I should have set boundaries way earlier, back when the very first big ask came in. Others think I'm totally justified in cutting off the money now, since clearly my role has shifted from sister to walking wallet. So I really want to know, am I the jerk for refusing to keep lending my sister money for her wedding, when I've been quietly cut out of planning it altogether? Story 5. I returned my baby's gift because it had a crucifix on it. Okay, so let me set the scene here because context really matters for this one. I am 29 weeks pregnant right now, and my husband's sister gave us a gift for the baby, this beautiful onyx bracelet. And I want to explain why this bracelet is actually a big deal, culturally. In my country, regardless of religion, there's this custom where newborns wear an onyx and gold bracelet. It's believed to protect them, ward off bad energy, that kind of thing. It's a really sweet, meaningful tradition. Now here's where it gets complicated. I'm Hindu. My husband's family is Catholic. So when I opened this gift, I was so touched that she remembered the custom, and got us this bracelet. But then I looked closer, and there's this tiny cross, like an actual crucifix, attached to the bracelet. And that night in bed, I told my husband, I'm just not comfortable with this. Not because I don't respect his family's religion, I do, genuinely, but because this bracelet is supposed to represent my culture's tradition, and now it's got a religious symbol from a completely different faith attached to it, one that isn't ours. It felt like it was blending two things that, to me, should have stayed separate, especially for our baby, who we're planning to raise with an appreciation for my culture and traditions too. So I made the decision to return it. I went to the store, exchanged it for a version of the bracelet without the crucifix, something that was just the plain onyx and gold, in line with the actual tradition. I thought that was a totally reasonable compromise, keeping the spirit of the gift, but adjusting it to fit what actually made sense for us. Well, apparently that did not go over well at all. My sister-in-law found out I returned the original gift, and she was hurt, like deeply hurt, saying I basically rejected a piece of her faith and her love for our baby. My husband's family is now acting like I insulted their entire religion, like I was making some big statement against Catholicism, when really, I just wanted a version of a specific cultural tradition that didn't have another religion's symbol layered onto it. My husband, to be fair, gets it. He understood why I made the choice, though he did say I probably should have given him and her a heads up before just returning it, instead of them finding out after the fact. That part, I'll admit, is fair criticism. Maybe I should have communicated it better before taking action. But the core of the decision, wanting our baby's cultural bracelet to actually reflect our baby's culture, without another religion's symbol attached, that doesn't feel unreasonable to me. Some people I've talked to think I completely overstepped, that a gift is a gift, and returning it was rude regardless of the reasoning. Others think I had every right to make decisions about what religious symbols are or aren't placed on my own child. So I'm asking you honestly, was I the jerk for returning my baby's gift because of the crucifix attached to it? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.